All right, we are out here on Loveland Pass today. Going to try and do 2 13ers. The wind report is kind of iffy, so we'll see how bad it is once we get up to the ridgeline we're going to be on today, but I'm going to try and at least bag 1 13er. 2 would be ideal. I got my buddy Casey with me again, so we're going to be getting going here. We've been praying to any God and deity we could think of that the wind's not going to be bad, but we'll see. But about to get going here. The sun's just starting to come up, so we got here at a perfect time, and should be a pretty good day. Cupid Peak, 13,000 and I don't know, a little bit, anywhere between there and 14. The wind has picked up since we got up on the ridgeline like we expected, but it's not been bad enough to try and end the trip yet. We got some big mountains around us. We got Tories and Grays right here. These are 2 14ers that I climbed in a different video. And then we got Grizzly Peak right here. That one's like 13.5. I think we're gonna try and hit that one next, but it's kind of far away. It looks a lot further away than we thought. So I think we're gonna try it, but you never know if we'll be able to get there. But it's crazy. You can see all the other mountain ranges in Colorado. You can see just forever. You can see Cupid Ridge over here, Quandary Peak. You can see some of the Aspen Mountains back in the back over there. I mean, we were just out here with incredible views and pretty incredible day. I mean, you cannot complain with views like this. last little, I guess, saddle before we start heading up Grizzly. The winds have been about the same, and we've loved the downhill, but now we gotta climb that. And it didn't look that bad from the top of Cupid, and now that we're right below it, it looks a lot steeper. So there's a group in front of us, so we're kind of watching them go up and see what routes they take. But we're about to start doing the up. So hopefully the next time I check in, we'll be on top of Grizzly. Casey and I are at the top of Grizzly Peak, and the views are nuts. We've got Tories and Grays back here, 2 14ers. You can see all the other ranges in Colorado. You can see Pikes Peak way in the distance down here. You can see Quandary Peak, another 14er. I mean, I think that's Mount of the Holy Cross way out there. Don't quote me on that, but the views up here are unbelievable. It was so nice. As soon as we gained the summit, the wind stopped. So we're having a nice peaceful little sit down up here, but climbing up that ridge was spicy. I am not gonna lie to you, that thing pretty damn. All right, I don't know how much of my summit video saved because the GoPro froze. And then I put another battery in it, and then that one froze too. So I think that was just nature telling me not to film on top of the mountain. But we are honestly a pretty good ways down. We marked this spot on our way up as one of the only spots that we found without wind, and there was no more other spots like that. So we just hurried our way off of Grizzly back down over here so we could have our snacks and drink our Red Bulls. But we have to climb back up Cupid and then back down to the saddle between Cupid and whatever the top thing is, and then go back up that and then down the ridge. So we've got quite a little ways to go, but just refueling here, and then we'll get going. We are back at the car, day done. All Trail says we did about 6 miles and 2,800 feet of climbing. So pretty big day, probably the biggest winter day I think I've ever had, but not too bad. Boy, I'll tell you what, the downhill coming off the ridgeline was horrible. Yeah, I mean, the car looked like as far as it could be the entire way down, but we did it. We're back at the car, and another great day in the mountains.